There's no exact science in this, you know. You have to try and, if possible, peak coming towards the round robin stages of the championship. We had a kind of a rough opening to that when we get well beaten by Mayo here in Killarney. It's not an exact science, but you know, hopefully that we're coming into a bit of form at the right time.
I think overall we'd be happy with where we're at. Obviously playing in Division 2 was something different. You know, we had to navigate our way through that without, you know, expending too much energy or putting players under the cosh to the extent that it might impact later in the season, because it's about keeping lads fresh, and the timing of this was always going to be important. So, you know, we managed to get promoted out of Division 2, which was an objective we set ourselves, and still had a little bit in reserve coming into the Championship, Leinster campaign, and then into the qualifier series. So yeah, we'd be relatively happy with how it's all gone, but the litmus test is coming, of course, and there's one big challenge that lies ahead.
He's got it! Seanie O'Shea has scored for Kerry. He's got a goal at 4. They are surely in the All-Ireland final. There can hardly be any more time left. There isn't. Kerry, with the last kick of the game, have beaten Dublin. They have beaten a Dublin team for the first time in 13 years.
We wouldn't mind if the same kick of the ball was between us and that we got the better of it. But yeah, it's going to be a tough task for us. That obviously brought back some really important players with a lot of All-Ireland medals since last year, and we realise it's going to be a huge task. But the big thing is we're in there with a chance, and we'll give it everything now in this final.
Back in 2020, when we last won it, it was important to have impact from the bench. It was players like Paul Mannion and Brian Howard were amongst our impact players back then. This year, I think it's been an obvious ploy and nothing relatively new, I think, in terms of a strategy for the majority of teams. Impact late in the game, particularly in the tighter games. They're the clutch moments, to use that phrase, and that's when you want your experienced players in the mix, and hopefully they can make the right decisions and see across the line. So I think every team is more or less engaging in that type of strategy.
There's no question they seem to have a really strong panel at the moment, you know. But we're happy enough with the boys we're bringing in, and happy that they're making a difference.
Seanie O'Shea gives it back to David Clifford, composing himself on the right, eyed the target. One beautiful shot, and that's a second point by David Clifford and Kerry.
There's a lot spoken and said about David Clifford, and he is a unique and special player, but some of their other players are top class as well. They have multiple forward threats, and even the defenders very comfortable in attack as well. So they'll hit you from all angles. You know, they're very creative. That sort of natural talent and DNA oozes from them when they're performing at their best. And yeah, a special team, worthy champions, and I know they're favourites for the game. And it's, you know, but we're ready to compete. We have to be, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Kerry have got the keys to the kingdom back. They are All-Ireland champions for the 38th time. Jack O'Connor and his management team have done it again.
You know, we live in the moment, and you know, we parked last year's All-Ireland, you know, around Christmas, and from New Year's Day on, you know, we haven't thought about last year, high up or low down. So it's all about this year, and you know, trying to get ourselves right to put in a big performance in this final. There'd be something wrong with you the morning of the game if you didn't feel nervous. But you know, it's about controlling those nerves and using them to your advantage. They can inspire you as well, you know. So it's just a matter of making sure that you keep the balance right. You have to relax for as long as possible, and just get your game face on closer to the game.
Whatever happens, you just want to put yourself in a position that you can compete as hard as you can. If that's good enough on the day, that's great. If it's not, you got to accept that as well. As mentioned, Kerry are a special team, and they'll be coming with all guns blazing, looking to retain the title. They won't want to be giving it up easy, and you know, I think it's going to be a special game.